Hello everyone, welcome back. Today I'm giving my initial impressions on this Vortex 6X magnifier. Okay, and I have it paired up with the Holosun 503g ACSS. Okay, and I've got it sitting on this Reticle Firearms AR-15. So using this cheap target ammo, I took this out to 100 yards, and I am very ecstatic. I was able to get, where are you? A 1-inch group at 100 yards. Now I've shot this rifle before, like with the, I think when I put the standard 3x magnifier, I was coming closer to, I mean, I was doing a little bit better than 2 MOA, but I really wasn't able to focus as well on the tip of the chevron to get that 1 MOA group. But with this 6x magnifier, I was able to do it today. So let me get behind the glass here. Let me show you guys what it looks like. So first of all, let me flip the magnifier off so you guys can kind of see. Hopefully you'll be able to see what. I gotta try and get this at an angle. It's not easy. There it is. You can see what the chevron looks like. So those 3 lines over there, right? You see how the arrow with the 3 dots underneath it, they kind of like blur, it blurs into a solid arrow, right? So that tree over there that the arrow's on right now is at 80 yards. So let me flip the magnifier over now. And let's get back on that. There it is. Let me get back on the tree. Because I moved a little bit when I flipped the magnifier over. Come on, let's get steady. Yep, I went past it. Hold on, let me. Oh, yeah, there it is. That's my arrow. All right, so there's my tree. That's the tree at 85 yards, and I lost my arrow. There it is. I'm getting this nasty reflection. What the hell? Hold on. Looks like somebody's getting a colonoscopy with this, the way this thing's looking. There it is. Okay. So you can see how the tip of the arrow is very fine. So with the 6x magnification, you can see the tip of the arrow, and then you can actually see the 3 dots underneath it very clearly. So the way you zero this reticle in is the tip of the arrow goes at 100 yards. So you get a 100-yard zero. And then what happens, the inside of the arrow, losing my focus, the inside of the arrow gives you a 200-yard zero. Then the bottom of the 2 legs give you 300 yards, right? It's basically, it's a bullet drop compensator. And then the first dot is 400 yards. The second dot, what do we say, 400 yards. Second dot is 500 yards. And the last dot is 600 yards. Okay, so we got 100, 200, 300, 4, 5, and 6. Yeah. So the last dot is a 600-yard zero. So you can see the dots a lot more clearly. Now, when I'm looking through the scope, it looks a lot better than what you guys are looking at right here, because it looks like you're looking at somebody's colonoscopy with this, the way this thing is looking. But I wanted you guys to back off and go back in. I want you guys to kind of get an idea what the magnification looks like. No, completely off. Keep losing. Oh, come on. It's gotta be an easy way to do this. There it is. Oh, that's a clear picture. There it goes. All right, we finally got it. So that's at 6x magnification at about 80 yards. Okay, you see, and you can see how the tip of the chevron's very fine. And let me put this back on the stand so I can talk to you guys a little bit more comfortably. Okay, so I realized that was a little dizzying to look at, but you know, I mean, basically, you want to see what you're going to be looking at when you look at this, when you look through this thing over here. Okay, so there's the magnifier. Nice. Size-wise, so this is the Holosun HM3X. So this is the 3X magnifier. Yeah, me take this sucker off. So the nice thing about these magnifiers is that you don't have to worry about, you know, zeroing and stuff. You know, basically you just gotta zero your optic. Weight-wise, it's about the same. I mean, you know, it might be like, I don't know, a half of an ounce heavier, but it's about the same. Size-wise, it's about it is bigger. The tube is a little bit wider. Okay, but it's about the same length. I thought that maybe it would have been a lot longer, actually. Back there. So I thought maybe it would have been a lot longer, but it's not. It's only appears to be about a ½ inch longer. And width-wise, you know, maybe a ½ inch wider. So I think this is very economical as far as weight and size when you're going from a 3X to a 6X, because you're getting basically double the magnification, right? You're getting 6X magnification instead of 3 times magnification for about the same cost of weight and size. Okay, dollar-wise, these are $200. You know, the Holosuns are $200 versus this Vortex 6X is $400, and then I was able to get like the Optics Planet discounts, which brought it down. That, you know, I caught one of those 10% discounts, so I got this for $360. Okay, so you know, if you on a good day when you know, if you're timing this with the holiday discounts, you can get this for $360. You know, versus the $200 for this. And again, same deal here. You can get, if you get this with a discount, you'll get it for I mean, whatever, you get it for like $180. Okay. So the nice thing about these magnifiers is that they're easy on, easy off. It goes right on. You clamp it in place. They have the quick attach. You know, and then when it's on there, you have the option of just rolling it off to the side. If you want that fast target acquisition, let me go brighter. All right, if you want that fast target acquisition, right? And then if you want magnification, you flip it on. That's nothing new. I mean, you guys are already familiar with that aspect, but here's the thing. For initially, right? This is going back now like 3 or 4 years. My thoughts were, why get a magnifier? Why not just get a variable optic, right? A 1:8. So and in fact, that's what I did. I got a variable 1:8. But here's the thing with the variable optics, with the variable scopes, they weigh 1.5 pounds. Okay, you know, when you include the base, right? And you're kind of stuck with it. You can't just, you know, I mean, if you put a variable scope on your rifle, you're stuck with 1.5 pounds. Whereas with this, if you decide that you don't want this extra weight, you just take it off and put it in your pocket. You know, put it in your backpack. If you decide that, or for example, if you're going to be shooting at night, when you know you definitely don't need magnification, you just take it off completely. You know, and you still keep the optic. Now, this, like I said, I matched this up to the 503g, which has the ACSS, which I think is a perfect matchup. And these aren't very expensive. I think these I've been getting for about $220. And again, if you catch it with the holiday discounts, you can get it for like $200. I think it is an excellent optic, especially if you're planning to put a magnifier behind it, because the magnifier, basically the reticle is perfectly sized so that you can barely see it without the magnifier, right? As far as the fine points, you can see the reticle as a whole. But as far as seeing the fine points, all the little dots, you can't see it so well with your naked eye, but as soon as you put the magnifier on it, it blows it up. And it kind of has to be one or the other, right? Because if they give you something that, like, let's say you use a 2 MOA dot, right? A 2 MOA dot, right? When you put it on a bullseye like this, the dot is going to blow up and what happens is it becomes bigger than your bullseye. So it's going to look like that. So then it's kind of hard to center it over your bullseye. this ACSS reticle system, because it has that chevron with the fine point, right? You know, it doesn't matter what the magnification is, whether you're using 3x or 6x, or later on they make something that has even more magnification. You're putting the tip of the arrow underneath it, so you're not obscuring your bullseye, and you're just focusing on the tip. So that's why this is a perfect match. You know, this ACSS system with that 6x magnifier, and I'm loving it. I mean, this is just my first day using it, so these are really my initial impressions. But it's really not that different than the 3x that I've been using for now, I guess, about 2 years. So I mean, it's not like it's got extra buttons on it or anything like that. So I expect that this Vortex is going to work just as good as this Holosun, with the exception that I get 6 times magnification instead of 3 times magnification. Okay? And like I said, you can see the results right here. Oh, look at that. There's that. First day shooting this. And I've shot that rifle before. You know, in the past I was getting, you know, maybe 1.5 inches to 2 inches at 100 yards. Today, as soon as I put the magnifier on that, you know, I was able to get right to 1 inch. So that magnifier with, you know, so this is really a system, right? It is now a system. It's the rifle with the optic with the magnifier working together. All these 3 things together give me a rifle, give me a 1 MOA rifle, and this is a Reticle firearms rifle. This is an economy rifle, okay? The Reticles back in 2015, 2016, I was buying these for $500, okay? Now with inflation, they're going for about $700. But you know, if you factor out the inflation, you're paying the same money pretty much. So initial impressions, I absolutely love this. Now they do give you a couple of different risers. I picked because if you I picked the one that matched up basically to this, which was the medium position. In the description when I was ordering this, it seemed to say that you can't that this, you know, because this one because I'm shooting this right-handed, so I have it flipping over to my right side. It seemed to indicate in the description that you couldn't flip it around so that it goes to the left side. That's what I seemed to read, but today I can verify that that's absolutely not the case. You can set this up so it flips over to the left side. I know because I accidentally did that, right? When I put this on, I screwed it backwards so that it was flipping over to the left side, and then I had to reverse it, put it to the other side. So this has all the benefits of this HM3X, which I've been shooting for 2 years. You know, it's got the, you know, I didn't even have to adjust the centering because they give you an elevation and windage. That's not for changing your zero. That's just if you put this on and you look in there and you see that your reticle is like all the way over to the side, it's not centered, you use these adjustments to bring it to the center. So the adjustments on the magnifier are for centering, they're not for changing the zero. So you could pretty much take this off and move this from rifle to rifle. So I realized when I was working with these cheaper $200 magnifiers from Holosun that you know, if you got one of these, basically you can put this on any of your ARs, which made all the sense in the world, right? Because my thing was like, you know, this is great 3X. I wish they would make this in a higher magnification, right? And I started looking around, and then I saw this one in 6X. And I went, wow, that's awesome. So at the $400, well, $360 that I paid for it with the discounts, but at $360, it's not like you're just buying a piece of equipment that's going to go on that one gun. It can go on any gun because it comes off really easy. But there's a real benefit to matching it up with this this 503g ACSS because it's you know, it has that chevron that you can really you can focus on the tip. Now to take this off, there's basically you push forward here and then you flip this up. So there's a 2-piece locking system. Push forward and then flip this up, and then this comes right off. And this is a really nice little optic. I think that these 503Gs don't get enough attention. I mean, for the $200 that they charge for this, I mean, it doesn't have solar power. That's kind of like, you know, that's the only drawback to this. But It's a wonderful optic, very versatile. Now, personally, for most of my shooting, I prefer the bigger windows of the 510C. So on almost all of my ARs, I use the 510C because I find that, if you come up like let's get these things out of the way. If you come up in some awkward position, right, like this, right, if I have a lot of clothing on, or if I put a new shooter on the gun, I find that with the bigger window, they can find their reticle a lot faster. Okay, so I do favor the Holosun 510Cs with the larger window. However, for this case, because with the 6x magnifier, if I matched it up to, and usually I do match up my 3x with my 510Cs, in which case the 2M away becomes a 6M away dot, right? So because it enlarges the dot, but it also enlarges the target behind it. So it all kind of looks the same. Everything looks bigger. Ideally, what I would like, I wish Holosun would make the 510C and use the ACSS reticle system. I think that is a vastly superior reticle system, a much better aiming system. I have it on all the pistols that I shoot regularly. I use the 507 ACSS. When I train beginners, I find that beginners are able to come up on target faster. They use that big circle to find the chevron in the center. So it works better for beginners. It works better for experienced people under stress. I think the only reason why Holosun isn't doing it, because I guess they don't want to pay the royalties to Primary Arms, right? Because I think they got the patent on that. But it is a vastly superior reticle system. I wish that that all the Holosun products had the ACSS. But like I said, the bigger window for most of my guns is more of a benefit. So that's why I use the 510C. But for this rifle over here, which basically, these two things are going to be married together. I'm going to have this. There we go. Nope, didn't go on there. A little bit of an awkward position here. There we go. So these two things I intend to keep together. It is a perfect matchup. The 503G with this Vortex 6X. I'm surprised that Holosun doesn't make a 6X magnifier. They're kind of stuck at the 3X. Ideally, they should make an 8X. I wish they would make an 8X. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Initial impressions on this Vortex 6X. Absolutely love it. I intend on taking this rifle out to a different location where I can shoot at much longer distances. I want to shoot this rifle at 600 and 700 yards and see how well it does. And I'll definitely do a video on that when I do that. So drop some comments below. Let me know how you like the video. If you're not a member of the channel, subscribe and hit that bell button so you get notification of new videos I put up.